Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another episode of TEW 2020 WWE here. As today it's time for the final shows, the go-home shows, heading into our new next premium live event / pay-per-view specials. We have Battleground for Raw and NXT, and we have No Mercy for Smackdown. Two stacked cards, both pretty full up, but time to just completely finalise them. As always, in these last episodes before the premium live event pay-per-views, we'll do a rundown of all the matches in the match cards for the events at the end of the episode, rather than after every individual episode of television. So we'll do all the cards and that at the end. Okay, nice and simple. And before we can get to the end, of course, we have to get through 3 shows worth of action, and we kick off, as always, with another episode of Monday Night Raw, which kicks off with the WWE Champion Kyle O'Reilly and longtime friend and partner Bobby Fish making their way out to the ring. O'Reilly making the save for Fish when the Diamond Mine were trying to attack him last week. O'Reilly gets on the mic and he calls out Roderick Strong and the Diamond Mine. Then they come out and Kyle O'Reilly says to Roderick that you want to fight, then we can fight. Battleground, you and me, we can fight for as long as you want. And I will walk out as I enter with this WWE Championship. But you, Roderick, you are not a leader. Are you, Roddy? No. And you're amazing in this ring. I will never doubt that. I trained with you for too damn long to pretend otherwise. But your ego and your entire being, you cannot. And you could never beat a man to train these young superstars like the Creed brothers. But hey, Creed brothers, you two, you got that something. I can see it too. I can see what Malcolm can see. I can see what Roddy can see and Taz can see. But you want to go with the big boys, then we can go. You want to challenge, then how about this tonight? The main event, the spotlight on the Diamond Mine, on the Creed brothers, against one of the greatest tag teams of all time, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. Challenge accepted for an 87 main event, O'Reilly and Fish versus the Creed brothers of the Diamond Mine. Very good opening. Very happy with that. Before next up, last week we had Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Angel Garza and Sheamus ringside. Now we have Angel Garza and Sheamus going head-to-head with Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton at ringside. This dispute between these people largely stemming from Drew McIntyre's problems with Randy Orton. And now Garza and Sheamus going head-to-head before the two teams collide at Battleground. There you go. And in the end here, it is, there you go, Angel Garza coming out on top of the Angel with the wing clipper, Jesus, for an 87, good little opening match. 87 Garza, 74 Sheamus, there we go. Angel Garza is the one who comes out on top in the endo, Orton raising his hand up the ramp whilst Drew McIntyre looks on, absolutely seething, to be quite honest with you, not very happy with Randy Orton, well, with Angel Garza, and so subsequently Randy Orton beside him getting one over on him here for that 87. Really good opener. Angel Garza's just on great form, isn't he? For then we go backstage. We have the Intercontinental Champion Montez Ford in his locker room. When in walks to the frame Chris Jericho. And Jericho says that he heard that tonight him and Montez Ford will be teaming up to take on Bobby Lashley and MVP. And Jericho says, listen here, kid. You want to win tonight? You want to beat Bobby Lashley? You want to keep him away from that Intercontinental Championship just as much as I do. I just want you and me one-on-one, no one else, so I can get that title back. Okay? And if you want to win tonight and you want to keep Bobby Lashley out of our championship match at Battleground, then it is very, very simple, okay? Listen to me, kid, okay? I'm Chris Jericho. I'm Y2J. I am the GOAT. I'm the greatest of all time. So just listen to me and we'll win. And Ford kind of laughing to himself and says that, Chris, you're great. I'm not going to deny it, but... And then he grabs the Intercontinental title and puts it over his shoulder and says, I'm the only champion in this locker room right now, okay, kid? So maybe you should listen to me out there. And Montez Ford walking away. Jericho not happy. Ford not happy. Can they, oh, and we all love this word, hashtag coexist tonight in that tag team match for an 87. Good little segment. Before we have a different tag team match, we have Toxic Attraction, G.D. Dolan and JC Jane making their tag debut, I do want to say, on Raw, going against another team making their tag team debut, Zoe Stark and Fallon Henley. And I think this is Gigi, JC and Fallon's individual debuts as well. So I'll be honest, I'm expecting a score in the high 20s, maybe 30s, quite frankly. But still, we have Alexa at ringside for Henley and Stark, of course. Mandy Rose at ringside for Toxic Attraction. And in the end, Mandy Rose getting involved, which leads to a distraction, which does lead in the end here to Toxic Attraction picking up the victory. Gigi Dolan pinning Fallon Henley. Fallon Henley defeated on her debut following that interference from Mandy Rose. 35 for the match though. You know, I thought it would be in the 30s, so mid-30s is perfectly fine with me. 51 Zoe, 40 Gigi, 38 JC, 19 Fallon. Fallon needs to be built up, but still, I'm happy. All four of these are pretty good, so no complaints from me with that. After the match, Mandy Rose and Alexa Bliss arguing in the ring. You know, both of the teams kind of down a little bit. Just Bliss and Rose just arguing, getting to a bit of a shoving contest, getting to a bit of a brawl. And then their brawl was quite promptly stopped by, come on, Nia Jax storming in, and Naomi as well. And they lay out Bliss, and they lay out Rose. And Naomi stands tall, 4-9. Naomi standing tall here before we head into that triple threat match for the vacant Women's World Championship come Battleground. A sign of things to come? Perhaps. Bliss and Rose so focused on each other that could provide an easy way for Naomi just to sneak in and pick up the victory, but we will have to wait and see. As then, it's time for everyone's favourite part of the show, the 24/7 title shenanigans. The whole gang's here. Drake Maverick going about his business. And these little things keep happening. The janitor, he thinks it's R-Truth, it's not. He sees, you know, something else going on, he thinks it's R-Truth and it's not. You know, and then, you know, he goes and it's a masseuse waiting in his office. And the masseuse says he was sent by management to congratulate Drake Maverick on his incredible work on Raw, obviously. And he's been paid for just a nice, relaxing massage. Okay, such a stressful job. Drake a bit hesitant to it. The masseuse goes up behind him as Drake's about to leave and starts massaging his shoulders a little bit. And Drake kind of, oh, that's nice, that is. And then Drake Maverick, you know, getting comfy, getting nude on the massage going on. And the masseuse kind of stops for a bit, and then a different masseuse appears and starts rubbing his shoulders. Drake, you know, suddenly aware of his surroundings, shoots up. He sees the masseuse. It's not R-Truth still. And Drake back to it. Gentle massage. You have a band come in. They start playing this beautiful music. Drake, you know, surveying all of them, seeing none of them are R-Truth, and he's just like, you know what? This is pretty nice, to be honest. Actually, I just need to relax. I deserve this. Just gets nice and comfy on his massage bed. He starts to slowly drift away. And then the masseuse tells him to turn over for a little front massage, not the one you're thinking of. Get your heads out the gutter. And Drake Maverick does, but he's still a bit drowsy, you know, still a bit sleepy. The band playing, the fragrant candles in the air, the dimly lit room just by those candles. He's slowly fading. And as he does slowly fade, he doesn't notice that masseuse go, and another masseuse slowly walk in. Who is R-Truth? And R-Truth very gently and very carefully lowers his hand onto Drake Maverick's chest as a referee appears from under the massage table. He slowly and quietly taps the table. 1, 2, 3. R-Truth is 24/7 champion again. He's got his baby back for a 39. R-Truth very, very happy to get his baby back. He's about to celebrate wildly when Andre tells him to shh, be quiet. And R-Truth contains the excitement. And they all slowly leave the room, and it just ends with Drake Maverick just asleep on the massage table for a 39. Once again, 24/7 title nonsense. I'm not expecting the highest ratings, but I'm happy. Just a bit of nonsense in the middle of all the serious stuff. As then, it's time for that tag team match announced earlier. We have the Intercontinental Champion Montez Ford and Chris Jericho, Y2J, taking on the Hurt Business, Bobby Lashley and MVP. You know, Lashley and MVP have a bit more coexisting relationship. They've been friends forever, really. So they know each other. Ford and Jericho hardly know each other, and when they do know each other, they don't really like each other. So it's not working out as well. Montez Ford, the legal man, MVP down. Ford goes to the top rope for the frog splash. When Jericho gets back on the apron and he tags himself in, he tells Ford to get down. He climbs into the ring himself. Him and Ford arguing. Ford at the top rope, Jericho in the ring. They're both men just kind of arguing with each other, really. As then Lashley, whilst no one notices, MVP gets over to him and tags in, and Lashley storms across to Jericho, shoves him into Ford. Ford flies off the top rope to the outside. Jericho bouncing off the corner into the middle of the ring, and Lashley planting him with a, spear to pick up the victory. Lashley and MVP get the win. Jericho and Ford could not coexist. Jericho wanted to steal the limelight and got pinned for it for an 82. Pretty good. 79 Jericho, 79 Ford, 78 Lashley, 70 MVP. Pretty happy with that. As Lashley does get the win. And then after the match, Lashley standing tall in the ring over Jericho. Ford not very happy either. And who will come out on top when these three men collide at Battleground? Lashley, Jericho, Ford for that Intercontinental title. Can Ford overcome the serious odds in his way? I'll have to wait and see. 84 for that though. Very, very good. Very happy with that. As then, next up we have a match advertised last week. And match building for a little bit. We have MJF looking to continue this undefeated streak of his. Undefeated in singles competition. He did lose that Fatal 5 contendership match, but in singles competition, he's never pinned or submitted. There you go, that's a way to say it. Against Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler saying that he's been in MJF's shoes, just to do young stud entering the business, entering WWE, and he just doesn't see it in MJF. MJF looking to prove himself and shut Dolph Ziggler's mouth for good. And in the end here, it is, this always takes forever, MJF coming out on top, forcing Dolph Ziggler to submit with a salt of the earth for the win. 76, 62 Dolph, 70 MJF. Happy with this. Good match. MJF comes out on top though, over Dolph Ziggler, proving that he's good enough. Okay, Dolph said he's not good enough. He pinned Dolph Ziggler 1, 2, 3. He's shown where he can go. It's MJF for God's sake. And MJF, he calls himself the inevitable MJF. He says it is inevitable. He will get to the WWE Championship sooner rather than later. And a reminder that next month's Premium Live event is, of course, Money in the Bank, and the Money in the Bank briefcase is a surefire way to that, so you have to think he's dealt with Dolph Ziggler, and he'll want to turn his attention to a world title directly or indirectly through something such as the Money in the Bank. So, MJF, just for now though, beating Dolph Ziggler, and very pleased to have done so. As then we have a little Prime Target special focusing on the Raw Tag Team Championship match to come at Battleground. The Broserweights, Riddle and Dunn, and Owens and Zayn for a 100. These four guys are on fire. I think this match may genuinely be the highest rated match of the weekend, is my early prediction. Just because all four of these guys are on such good form, it seems like a pretty safe bet. Riddle and Dunn, mixing the seriousness of Pete Dunne's wanting to train with Riddle, we're champions, let's relax, let's have fun, we've earned this, They kind of balance each other out in that way, okay? Dunn is so serious about any fun, and Riddle, he can take the seriousness and he can take the fun as well. So Dunn helps heighten that seriousness. Riddle helps bring out that fun in Dunn. It's a lovely relationship they've always had, isn't it? Whilst Owens and Zayn are a lot more focused, a lot more serious. Okay, they want this. They've never been tag champs together. They finally want to climb that mountain and get those tag titles once and for all. Can they do it? We'll have to wait and see. Very happy with this. Looking forward to this match very much so. Before speaking of tag team action, it's a night of tag team action, really. It's time for the main event of this evening. We have the WWE Champion Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish taking on the young guns of this place. The Diamond Mines, Creed Brothers, Brutus and Julius, 2-on-2 in the main event. The Creed Brothers, the spotlight is on them here to showcase what they got against not just Bobby Fish, but the current reigning and defending WWE Champion, the man who won the Royal Rumble, Kyle O'Reilly. Great matchup. Creed Brothers showing what they can got, showing they can go with these top guys. Also, O'Reilly and Fish show what O'Reilly said earlier, that they are an amazing tag team. One of the best in the business, maybe. And O'Reilly specifically showing why he's WWE Champion. But in the end here, it is... Come on. It is... Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish coming out on top here after they hit the Chasing the Dragon, their tag finisher on Brutus for the win for an 81. Pretty good things considered. 95 Kyle, 77 Bobby Fish, 33 Brutus, 32 Julius. All things considered, 81. An incredibly good rating for that. Kyle's the only one who got above it. The WWE Champion gets the pin for his team as they come out on top. And then after the match, Kyle O'Reilly snatching a mic. And he says to Roderick that you can bring your Creed Brothers. You can bring Bivens, you can bring Taz, you can bring whoever the hell you damn want, but at Battleground, I promise you, I will beat you, Roddy, and I will keep my WWE Championship. For a 100, Kyle O'Reilly is impassioned. Kyle O'Reilly is ready for Roderick Strong, for Roddy O'Reilly Strong WWE title at Battleground. Hopefully it'll be a banger. Overall rating wise for this episode of Raw, this go home episode of Raw, at that, the overall rating is, I feel like it's taking longer and longer to come to these things. 87. The loading process of this game can be very long. 87 though is a very, very good rating. I'm happy with that. The Creed Bros in the main event, always going to bring that match rating down, but 81 was still really good. A lot of really good things in the show, and I'm very happy. Battleground on the Raw side is set and is finalised and is hopefully going to be very, very good. Fingers crossed, though of course Battleground is not just a Raw pay-per-view, it's a Raw and NXT pay-per-view. And to that end, I think it's time to see and get that NXT card finalised, don't you? Let's do it. Without further ado, it's time for another episode of NXT. And NXT gets underway with a contract signing for the NXT North American Championship. We have the challenger, Ace Austin, coming out. King Corbin not in tow. King Corbin waiting for his contract signing later tonight. But Ace Austin coming out looking incredible, as always. And as well, it's got the champion coming out as well. They sit across from each other, of course. Regal overseeing Rich Holland there as well to make sure things don't get too, punchy, hitty. Ace Austin saying that he is the upcoming wrestler in this business. Everywhere he's gone, he's won championships, and he's won them quickly. And he's been with WWE for less than a year. And it's about time for Ace Austin to get his championship gold. He is the ace around here. He is the ace for a reason, because no one goes in this ring like Ace Austin does. And it's damn time for him to win that championship. The NXT North American Championship, so many great names have held it, but none will ever be greater than Ace Austin, signing the contract, ready for this championship opportunity in front of him. When Swerve gets the mic, and Swerve says that NXT continues to be Swerve's house, and it may be your name, but it's not in your blood, because the only ace around here is me. I go in this ring, I go on this mic, I go harder than anyone can go. Not harder than anyone does go, no, harder than anyone can go. They could turn it up to 11, but they ain't reaching what Swerve is doing. I'm NXT North American Champion for a reason, and as long as I hold this championship, this is the championship around here. So you can talk your talk, but in this ring you will not walk your walk, because no one can go toe to toe and tango with the GOAT in this ring, Swerve Scott. Signing the contract, both men standing up, Rich Holland, on standby, as they stare down, Swerve lifting that championship. Ace Austin with that grin on his face. 100. Swerve Scott really is on the form of his life, isn't he? He's done amazing work. Very pleased with his growth. And hopefully a really good contest between these two come Battleground. Fingers crossed. With the NXT North American Championship on the line. As 10. Next up with the first match of this evening, we have Jade Cargill taking on Zelina Vega. Jade Cargill, looking to get one over Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega, she tried to interfere last week. Jade Cargill got involved, ended up costing Legado the match, Andrade the match. And Jade Cargill looking to shut up Zelina Vega, and Jade Cargill, it's quite the height difference at the very least, ignoring muscles and that as well. It's just quite the height difference, isn't it? And in the end, Jade Cargill, Zelina Vega, your winner is Jade Cargill for Destined for Greatness, pinning Zelina Vega for a 48, 57 Zelina, 31 Jade Cargill. Considering they didn't click and Jade Cargill's pop is very low, that's pretty good, Zelina Vega, yeah, hopefully this will help boost Jade Cargill as well. Zelina Vega's quite high in pop and everything, so happy with this. Jade Cargill does get a massive victory here on NXT. She says she's destined for greatness, and she's got to start building herself to back up those words with action at the end of the day. As then, we have a backstage face-to-face segment between the Women's Tag Team Champions Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, and their upcoming opponents, Team 2001, Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. The face-to-face being overseen by, let's say, Michael Cole. He does it usually, doesn't he? And it's just the women's, sat across for each other. Jade and Perez talking about their admiration for Lynch and Flair. Growing up, watching Lynch and Flair, the Four Horsewomen, among so many others, going out in this ring, inspiring them to do what they do now. And to know that in days' time, they're going to be in this ring, fighting for a championship against Lynch and Flair, that's a great honor. And Lynch and Flair, you know, Lynch is very... I'm struggling for the word. Lynch, not one for too much ass kissing. You know, Charlotte's a Flair, so she's partial to a bit of ass kissing, but Lynch less so. But still, Lynch saying that she sees a lot of her earlier self in Jade and Perez, you know? These young up-and-coming wrestlers who maybe don't go with what typically WWE have gone for in a female superstar. Maybe they don't fit that mold, that big, you know, melon mold, God, that Vince has typically gone for in the past. But still, they fought on. Lynch fought on to the main event of WrestleMania, winning both women's championships to do so. And she says she doesn't know where Jade and Perez will go in their journey, but she says it's exciting. She says that Jade and Perez are clearly very good competitors in this ring. They're very impressive. And then she looks forward to going toe-to-toe to him at Battleground. Flair, a little less... What's the word? I always struggle with the words. A little less gracious. There you go. Saying about Jade and Perez, of course they idolize her. She's a Flair. She is the Flair. Charlotte Flair, the only Flair around here. And she says that Jade and Perez, maybe someday, they'll go toe-to-toe. But not now, not here, not at Battleground. Flair says at Battleground, her and Lynch leave as they enter Women's Tag Team Championships. And there's not a doubt in her mind about that. Flair just walking off. Lynch staying, a little bit of respect, shaking Jade and Perez's hands. 75 for that. Hopefully a good match between these four women's. You know, Jade and Perez, young up-and-comers, hopefully being in the ring with Lynch and Flair will help boost them up a bit, give them a bit of experience. I think it should be good. Fingers crossed. As then next up, we have a six-man tag team match between... we have Trey Griffin and the Mysterios, the Cruiserweight and Cruiserweight Tag Team Champions, taking on the Lucha Dragons, Kalisto, Lince Dorado, Gran Metalik. 3-on-3. We'll have the Cruiserweight title match and Cruiserweight tag title match at Battleground. Griffin versus Kalisto, and the Mysterios versus Lince and Gran Metalik. But for now, it's the six-man, and in the end, following a bit of miscommunication between Dominic and Trey, Kalisto manages to roll up Trey Griffin for the 1-2-3. Kalisto pins Trey Griffin. If he does that at Battleground, he'll be the Cruiserweight Champion. 77 for that. Good match. 73 Kalisto. 86 Rey Mysterio. 66 Trey. 61 in Gran Metalik. 55 Lince. 48 Dominic. All doing pretty well. Lucha Dragons get the win in the end. And once again, Trey Griffin and Mysterios, miscommunication has cost them. And Kalisto has picked up another victory for a 77. Kalisto's on a hell of form at the moment as he approaches that Cruiserweight Championship match at Battleground against Trey Griffin. Can he keep that form going? Can he pin Griffin again and get the gold? Or will Griffin, without the Mysterios there, come out on top and keep that Cruiserweight Championship? We'll have to wait and see for next episode. But before then, next up, we have a women's match. Dakota Kai, the women's champion, at ringside to watch her... What is it? I'm struggling. Her Battleground opponent, there you go. Toni Storm in action. Again, I've said Battleground so much, I don't know how I forgot it. Against Mercedes Martinez. Mercedes Martinez against Toni Storm. And in the end here, Toni Storm does pick up the win to Storm 0 for a 43. Yep, not the best. I think I messed up the commentators, which really cost this match, as having nobody with the announcing skill. But my announcers, one of them does have the announcing skill. So what's just happened there is I've just messed up my commentators. I'm interested if the commentators are here. I put Matt Bloom instead of Michael Cole. There you go. If Michael Cole's there, we don't get that in his higher rating, so I apologise to them. 43 in the end, you know, disappointing, but that's on me. 55 Storm, 35 Mercedes Martinez. Still not the worst in the world. Toni Storm gets the win. Dakota Kai then getting in the ring, wanting to show what she can do. Dakota Kai going head to head with Santana Garrett. There you go. And in the end, Dakota Kai does get the win with a chiropractor for 64. 72 Kai, 28 Santana Garrett. As you can see, Michael Cole actually did show up for this one, and it did better. That was on me. Sorry, Toni Storm. Dakota Kai does get the win. And then afterwards, Storm gets in the ring. And the two women, they shake hands. you know, a lot of respect in the matches heading to Battleground, really. Um, Especially on the women's front. Kai and Storm, they shake hands, because there is respect here. Both coming from Oceania to the WWE, they've both been through a lot. But they both won the NXT Women's title. There's respect, but respect enough to say, I respect you enough to give 100% at Battleground, because I want that title. 93. Really good match, really good post. I'm very happy with that. Very happy with the cards for Battleground. It's really finalising. Speaking of Battleground, then out comes hashtag trending Tiffany Stratton, Persia Protter, Grayson Waller, Ethan Page, and Reggie. And Tiffany Stratton's on the mic, and she's taunting Candice LeRae, saying it's so good that your little dolls, Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, they get a tag title match. It was so great to watch them get their asses handed to them by Lynch and Flair, you know, before me and Persia obviously take those titles like we deserve to. But that just leaves you, Candice, doesn't it? Little old Candice, all on her own as always. Oh, Candice Ray coming out, taking exception to that. You know, saying, Tiffany, you want to say something, then say it to my face. And Tiffany saying that, Candice, you've been in WWE for what? 5, 6 years? You are ancient. You are old. I mean, in 6 years' time, I will be a multi-time women's champion. Well, in 6 years' time, I mean, the rate you're going at, you'll probably be retired still with no championships. Candice, not very happy, going, you know, wanting a fight here, stepping towards Tiffany, but Grayson Waller stepping in between. And Grayson saying that, now hang on here, Candice, okay. In those, you know, those hot dog stands and those bingo halls you used to fight in, maybe this is alright, but this is a ring for superstars. Superstars like Grayson Waller, okay? So if you want to hit anyone, hit me then. You know what? I'll give you a free swing. For a 21, Grayson Waller closing his eyes, pointing to his cheek, you know, imploring Candice, all right, hit me then. Go on, you want to hit someone? Hit Grayson Waller. Come on now, come on. I'm sure something we'd all love to do. He has a very punchable face in our defense, though. Grayson Waller ready for it as the crowd starts to go a bit crazy. The crowd's starting to erupt a little bit. Ethan Page and Reggie kind of stepping forward to Grayson like, Grayson, you might want it. And Grayson's like, no. If she wants to hit someone, she can hit me. Come on, slapping his cheek still. Come on. And he gets a bit more than a slap. He gets a super kick straight to the face, taking him down as he finally opens his eyes on the ground and looks up at who but Johnny freaking Wrestling. Johnny Gargano is back on NXT, taking out Grayson Waller. He goes for a super kick on Ethan Page, getting out there. Reggie escapes, Persia escapes, Tiffany's out, Grayson rolls out. Gargano making the save for Candice here, and the two standing side by side. Actually, Training starts to head up the ramp as Gargano gets a mic and he says, no. You want to run your mouth, you want to fight, then how about this? At Battleground, you want Candice? Well, guess what? I want you, so let's do it. Battleground, Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano against Grayson Waller and Tiffany Stratton for a 58. Johnny Gargano is back on the black and gold. Oh, that's a sentence that feels right. Gargano on NXT just feels right, doesn't it? Back on NXT, helping out Candice LeRae here, issuing that tag challenge for Stratton and Waller come Battleground. Just always happy to see Gargano, to be honest. The 58, but that's down to Tiffany and Grayson largely. Gargano was excellent, as Gargano always is. Before it's time for the main event of this evening, another 6-man tag team match. We have Legado, Andrade, Humberto Carrillo, and Santos Escobar taking on the team of Destined for Greatness. We have we have Carmelo Hayes, Anthony Ogogo, and Eli Cassidy. Marcus Redden now injured, of course, so Eli Cassidy, those 3 men, 6-man tag action. And in the end, your winner is Destined for Greatness. Humberto Carrillo going for a moonsault, not noticing Anthony Ogogo tagging himself in, does the moonsault, goes over Ogogo, lands on his feet, and then walks right into Ogogo's fist, knocking him clean out. Bell rung, 81. Good main event, 94 Andrade, 68 Humberto, 65 Santos Escobar, 65 Hayes, 66 Cassidy, 57 Ogogo. Very, very happy. as Destined for Greatness get the win again. Carmelo Hayes comes out on top over Andrade again. Ogogo getting that knockout victory. They celebrate after the match for an 87. Andrade's not happy. He's been beaten. He's been one-upped by Hayes and Destined for Greatness once again, and he's just not very happy at it, to be honest with you, for an 87. Yeah, good match, good main event, good post. Very happy, a good show, which we close out with, as I said earlier, the contract signing for the NXT Championship match. Chad Gable and King Corbin come out to the ring, ready to sign their contracts. King Corbin, saying what he's always saying, he's King Corbin for God's sake. He says he's going to take that NXT Championship. It deserves to be around a real superstar. Not a kid masquerading like Shorty G over here is. It deserves to be a real champion. Okay? And that's what King Corbin is. And Gable saying that King Corbin is a bully and he has been waiting a long time to shut him up, and he cannot wait to get in that ring at Battleground and to make King Corbin tap out like a little bitch for a 97. Once again, not coming to blows. William Regal found a solution for that. Just stick Ridge Holland in the ring, and yeah, people don't really fight around him. 97 for that. Good main event. The Battleground cards are set. We go over at the end. I feel like I've said that a lot of times in this video, but we will go over them at the end after Smackdown as always. I'll leave a timestamp in the description if you just want to jump right to that, or you could just wait till the match card video goes up on Thursday as well. Plenty of options for that, as this week's Go Home episode of NXT gets an overall rating of 87. Very happy. Good episode of NXT. I am pleased as the road to Battleground is complete. The card is finalised, but of course Battleground is not the only premium live event to come. There's another one, the Smackdown exclusive No Mercy, and we have to finalise fully that card as well. And so without further ado, it's time for the Go Home episode of Smackdown. And Smackdown gets underway with Jimmy Uso coming out to the ring. Jimmy Uso, who returned last week, getting involved, super kicking Solo Sikoa, costing him and Seth Rollins their tag match against Keith Lee and AJ Styles in the main event. And Jimmy Uso comes to the ring, and he's angry. He calls out Roman Reigns. He says to Roman that this, you always said this about the bloodline, about our family, Us. But that's not the case, is it? It's always been about you. Because if it was about our bloodline, about our family, you wouldn't have kicked Jacob out. You wouldn't have tried to kick me to the curb. You wouldn't be holding Jay hostage. You wouldn't be brainwashing Solo like that. No, this was never about bloodline, was it? This was just about Roman Reigns, like it always has been, always will be, ever since we were kids. Always had to be about Roman. Doesn't matter who gets hurt. Doesn't matter who has to get pushed to the curb, because all that matters is the Roman Reigns show. When he's interrupted by Seth Rollins, also not very happy. Seth coming out and saying that Jimmy cast him last week. He was going to beat Keith Lee, a preview of what he's going to do come No Mercy. But no, Jimmy had to come out and get involved. And Seth Rollins isn't happy. And Jimmy telling Seth Rollins to shut the hell up. No one cares about him and his complaining. Okay? Seth Rollins thinks he's good, but he ain't. Just like everyone else around here. Seth thinks he matters. He thinks he means something around here, but he don't. None of this does. And Jimmy is saying about Seth going to Roman, acknowledging Roman. Jimmy's saying he doesn't know how dangerous what Seth did is. Because Roman ain't gonna forget that, Oos. He ain't gonna forget nothing you said, nothing you done. And that's when the music of Roman Reigns hits, and he begins to slowly march to his wing. Jay, behind him, walking slower, maybe a bit timid, when it appears from behind Solo Sikoa, super kick to Jimmy Uso, starts attacking him. Seth Rollins getting involved as well, not happy with Jimmy. Roman Reigns getting into the ring, telling him to lift him up. Solo and Seth lift up Jimmy Uso to begin to do it. Jey Uso still at ringside when the music of Keith Lee hits, and him and AJ march down to the ring. Roman ordering Jay to try to stop him, and Jay going up the ramp, but Keith Lee just pouncing him into the crowd a bit, and then they get in the ring. Big brawl breaks out between the men. Roman, Jay, Solo, and Seth end up on the outside. Keith, AJ, and Jimmy on the inside for a 100. Good opener. Main event later tonight. Keith Lee, AJ Styles, and Jimmy Uso taking on Seth Rollins, Solo Sikoa, and Roman Reigns in a 6-man tag team match, which will hopefully be very, very good. Fingers crossed. 100 for that, though. Good opening. We've got a lot to get through this show. As then next up, last week they had their physical tests of strength. Now it's time for their mental strength tests. A series of challenges, kind of like the academic decathlon type thing, you know, between Woods and Gulak. Gulak ended up coming out on top again a little bit, and Woods has enough. Gulak in a celebratory mood when Woods finally gets one over and then plants him with the championship. Gulak has managed to reverse Woods' offense for so long, and he's finally caught out off guard here. Woods taking him out and standing tall for a 79. When it comes down to it, at No Mercy, mental and physical strength will come into play when these two do collide, but who will come out on top? We'll have to wait and see. Woods standing tall here, though. Before next up, it's time for the first match this evening, a tag team match. Breezango taking on the Forgotten Sons. Joe Gacy and Braun Strowman watching on. Breezango looking for a measure of revenge to start things off after Gacy's pursuit of them somewhat. And in the end here, Breezango do get the victory. Breeze pinning Blake after that supermodel kick into the Falcon Arrow for a 65. Good little opener. 70 Breeze, 61 Fandango, 38 Blake, 25 Cutler. Happy with this. As Breeze and Fandango get the mics, or get a mic, and they tell Gacy to get in this ring. Stop being a coward, stop hiding behind all these people. Get in this ring. And Gacy begins to step forward and then he stops as Braun Strowman steps ahead of him and climbs onto the apron. Breezango ready for a fight when Fandango is hit in the back with a steel chair by EC3. EC3 making his return, attacking the two men, Strowman getting in the ring and joining it as well, while Gacy just tells him to stop. Breezango down, and then Gacy doing that smile and throwing up the peace sign. Strowman and EC3 by his sides for an 83. Good post, decent little opener, happy with this. Gacy standing tall again over Breeze and Fandango here. As then, next up, what do we have? We have Ronda Rousey, the Women's Universal Champion, coming out, calls out Shayna Baszler. No wasting time, no messing around. But Shayna doesn't come out. It is the $1 Million Champion, Bianca Belair, who comes out in the end. And Bianca comes out of the ring and she's not in the best mood, you know. She's losing to Shayna last week by DQ because Ronda attacked her. But she says she understands, okay? No mercy. Wanting to beat the hell out of him. Bianca can understand that. A bit of an agreement, you know, despite Bianca being a bit angry still, and Ronda's just in a constant state of anger towards Shayna at the minute. When out comes No Mercy, their music here, and they come out and say, isn't this nice? The two soon-to-be former champions getting on so well. Well, you two, I hope you enjoy this moment of niceties and understanding. Because at No Mercy, you both go down and you both lose, and Bianca's saying that she's had enough, okay? None of this talk. Why wait till No Mercy? Because Bianca says, Ronda sounds like she wants to, and I know I want to get a chance to beat the hell out of you both. We're here right now. So let's do it. 100 for that. Tag match next up. Ronda Rousey and Bianca Belair, the champions, taking on their challengers, Shayna Baszler and Sonya Deville. And in the end, it is No Mercy who come out on top. When Shayna Baszler, you know, getting into Ronda's head a bit, and Ronda getting disqualified, has a submission on Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler on the rope, the ref counting. She meets the count, and the DQ is called. Shayna wins by DQ. Ronda Rousey, so much anger towards Shayna, clouding her a bit here for an 87. Good, really good match actually. 84 Ronda, 79 Sonya, 72 Shayna, 60 Bianca. Don't know why Bianca was so low, but we move. I think in part it was down to the weak link, not the weak link, that they don't work together as a team, but we moved, like I said. Ronda not happy. No Mercy up the ramp happy. When the music of one Vincent Kennedy, Mr. McMahon, hits, no chance in hell, as he walks out and he says that this needs to put an end to it, okay? So here we go. No Mercy, the main event. Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, one more time. Anything goes. No holds barred. You can hold that submission as much as you want. And stipulation? The Women's Universal Championship versus Shayna Baszler's Smackdown contract. If you lose, no more second chances. No more third or fourth chances at that rate. You lose, you leave Smackdown. 4-100, massive stipulations, no holds barred, title versus contract. Really good match, really good post. Very happy with that. The main event of No Mercy set and locked, and hopefully will be good. Their other meetings have been, so hopefully this will be as well, as we try to put a close to this trilogy of matches. As then, out comes Deonna Purrazzo with her gang, of course, calling out Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan not taking the bait at first. Deonna starting to talk, little Liv Morgan, who's had enough, and does come out. She's not happy. She wants a fight. No more talk. Just fight. And Deonna saying that no, Liv hasn't earned that. Liv hasn't earned the right to go in the ring and have a match with Deonna Purrazzo, the virtuoso of professional wrestling. But you know what? You want a match? Then you can fight my right-hand man, Chelsea Green. You beat her? Hell, if you can show you're good enough to beat Chelsea Green, then hell, Liv, I will fight you at No Mercy. Okay? 80 for that. Good little pre-match segment before Liv Morgan versus Chelsea Green. And in the end, of course, the Liv kick gives Liv the victory for 64. Good match. 64 Liv, 40 Chelsea Green. I'm happy. Liv Morgan gets the win. Gets her match with Deonna Purrazzo, comes No Mercy. Will she be 100% though? Unsure. As Deonna Purrazzo, Frankie Monet, Lana, Aaliyah, they get in the ring. They start attacking. Deonna Purrazzo leading the attack on Liv Morgan after the match. Aaliyah, a little hesitant though, attacking Liv Morgan. And Deonna noticing this a little bit and distracting her. And then it's just 2-on-1, and one of the ones is Lana, so no offense. And Liv Morgan managing to fight back, kicking up, taking out Frankie Monet, taking out Lana, going for Deonna Purrazzo with a Liv kick. She ducks, she gets out the ring, and Deonna's group escape up the ramp as Liv Morgan stands tall in the ring. The crowd going wild for her for an 89. Good match, good post, good pre. Very happy. Hopefully a good match between these at No Mercy. There you go. As then, what do we have next? We have a special edition of Late Night with LA Knight. Hell yeah, baby. LA Knight, Cameron Grimes, and Spanish Fly in the ring, all suited and booted. As then he introduces his special guest, someone he knows quite well. They've worked together quite recently, and they've both broken out a bit, and so no better time for an interview. So introducing Apollo Crews. And Apollo Crews does come out, of course accompanied by the two men who helped him last week in Omos and Babatunde. And they all come down to the ring, Babatunde and Omos behind Apollo, Apollo wearing his gear and ready for this interview. And LA Knight saying he was impressed with what Apollo Crews did. He says he broke out from Big Bad Fad, as he says, because he's not a leader. People like LA Knight, people like Apollo Crews, they are leaders. Okay, Titus O'Neil, he ain't no leader, is he? No. But Apollo Crews, what he did, now that took guts. That was impressive. He proved he was a leader. He's got his big boys right here now, huh? Oh, LA Knight says he's impressed. Apollo Crews says that he is tired of being told what to do. It was finally time to break free from underneath his grasp. And then out comes Thaddeus Bullard. No Paul Heyman, just Thaddeus Bullard, and he is angry and he's upset and he is emotional, and he looks to that ring. He looks to all the people in that ring, all the former members of the Bullard brand, minus Omos and Babatunde, of course, and he says that he gave everything for them, for all of them. Torres, Bourbon, Knight, Grimes, Crews especially, he gave everything for them. He took them all under his learning tree. He put his name to him. The name Thaddeus Bullard, the name of a year-long Intercontinental Champion, the name of the Universal Champion. He put it on them because he believed in them and he had faith in them, and they repaid him by stabbing him in the back. He says he gave everything for them. And he says Apollo especially, he says he was like a son to him. For years, he took him under his wing, under his learning tree, before the Bullard brand, before Bullard. He took him under his tree, and his guidance he gave to him, and this is how Cruz repays him. He says if Cruz wanted to go on his own, then he could have done that. He's done that in the past. He didn't have to do what he did. And Bullard says that he's had enough. He says he tried to be fair, and he's tried to be reasonable. But, well, it's like they keep saying. They keep calling him Big Bad Thad. And if they want the Big Bad Wolf, then hell, they got it. He starts marching to the ring. Babatunde and Omos leave. Apollo Crews in the ring. They go out to try and get to Thaddeus Bullard first. Thaddeus Bullard, from his pockets, pulling out some bras, knuckles, and just throwing some haymakers, taking out Omos and Babatunde at ringside, or sliding in the ring, tackling Apollo Crews, starts beating down on him. Apollo Crews trying to fight back. LA Knight, not very happy with this interruption to his show, starts attacking Bullard. Bullard tries to fight back. Torres and Bourbon and Grimes all getting involved. 5-on-1. Omos and Babatunde still out at ringside, but 5-on-1 in the ring between these former members of the Bullard brand and Thaddeus Bullard. Bullard trying to fight back, manages to get a Bullard boot on Grimes, but gets taken down, gets his legs cut out under him. As the 4-on-1 advantage, Knight, Bourbon, Torres, and Cruz beating down on him. Went out to make the save, rushes the current SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Reed and Joe had their own problems with Spanish Fly and LA Knight especially. They storm down to the ring and they help fight off Spanish Fly. They help, well, LA Knight gets out of there. Cruz getting out of there a bit as well. For a 90, Frey Bullard dragging himself back to his feet as Breed and Joe stare down Spanish Fly and Knight up the ramp. Bullard stepping forward and leaning on the ropes as he stare down Cruz. 93 very happy. I think this going to absolute, is the perfect way to describe it. This episode of Late Night with LA Knight. But No Mercy, setting up very beautifully with the matches set to come. Very happy. Bullard impassioned. Bullard had enough. Very pleased. As it is time for the main event. 6-man tag team. Got Universal Champion Keith Lee, AJ Styles, and Jimmy Uso versus Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, and Seth Rollins. 6-man tag team action, and it gets down to it. And it's Keith Lee and Seth Rollins in the ring going at it. Roman managing to kind of sneak over and tag Seth Rollins to the extent that no one really notices except the ref, the only one who really needs to notice. Keith and Seth going at it. Seth Rollins goes for a high-risk move. Keith Lee getting up, getting out the way, lifting up Seth Rollins on his shoulders for the Big Bang Catastrophe, when Roman picks the perfect time to slide in and plant Keith Lee with a spear for the 1, 2, 3. Reigns, Rollins, and Sikoa wins as the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns pins the Universal Champion Keith Lee for a 76 because Jimmy Uso sustained a complete ACL tear. No. Oh, God. Well, you know what? Of the 6 men in this match, Jimmy Uso's probably the one I'd want to sustain a complete ACL tear the most. Oh, that feels bad to say. I'm sorry, Jimmy. Oh, God. 92 Keith Lee, 91 Seth, 93 Roman, 89 AJ, 73 Jimmy, 40 Solo. I'm happy enough under the circumstance, as after the match, Seth Rollins is celebrating wildly like he did something, and Roman gets his arm raised and just looks onto the outside, as I'm aware, as Jimmy Uso is being checked by the medics for a 100. Will Jimmy Uso be fit enough for his match at No Mercy? Probably, definitely not, considering it's in-game tomorrow. So I'll address that at our next Premium Live event episode on Saturday. But 100 for that. As Roman Reigns, the key here, Roman Reigns has just pinned the Universal Champion Keith Lee. Seth Rollins is celebrating wildly. Keith Lee, maybe his, what's the words? Maybe the unstoppable Keith Lee's kinks in his arm is about to be shown. As the overall rating for this episode of SmackDown is 87, brought down by that main event, which was brought down by the injury. So it's understandable, but I'm still very happy. A good week of go-home shows ready for our premium live events. And the match card of those premium live events is as follows. Starting off with No Mercy for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, it is the champions Bronson Reed and Samoa Joe taking on Spanish Fly of Bourbon and Torres. Spanish Fly looking to get back the titles they never lost, and Reed and Joe looking to assert their dominance and assert their power by beating the former champions. In the women's division, we have Deonna Purrazzo taking on Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan finally getting her hands onto Deonna Purrazzo. Purrazzo looking to prove she's better than Morgan. Morgan looking to prove that it's Liv Morgan's time. Looking to carry on her momentum and prove she's got what it takes. We have Apollo Crews and Thaddeus Bullard finally colliding. I want to say a year ago in our May 2021 pay-per-views, it was these two for the Intercontinental title and Bullard won. But I'm unsure. But they go head-to-head once more. Crews looking to finally get himself under the learning tree of Thaddeus Bullard, so to speak. And Bullard looking to get some revenge for what Crews did to him. The $1 million titles on the line as Bianca Belair takes on Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville with No Mercy looking to get some singles gold around their shoulder. And Bianca Belair looking to keep that $1 million title in tow. Whilst the United States title is on the line when Xavier Woods defends against Drew Gulak. Woods asserts himself as the best in ring and the best mentally. Gulak has proved a worthy adversary both of those departments, but who will come out on top with the US title up for grabs. The Universal Championship is on the line when Keith Lee goes head to head with Seth Rollins. Hopefully, is going to be a really good match. I mean, it's Keith Lee and Seth Rollins, so you'd expect it to be, but you never know. Hopefully, it shall be, though. Keith Lee, Seth Rollins, who will come out on top with the Universal title up for grabs. Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso. Roman Reigns kicked Jimmy Uso out of the bloodline. Uso looking for revenge. I'll have to figure out why I'm doing this. It probably won't be on the card, considering Jimmy Uso just got injured. But we'll see how it goes. You'll find out. A nice little surprise before the main event. Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler. Ronda Rousey's Women's Universal Championship versus Shayna Baszler's SmackDown contract. If Shayna Baszler loses, then she has to leave SmackDown. No more chances at Ronda Rousey, who will come out on top when No Holds Barred. What a pay-per-view. No Mercy, the No Holds Barred main event. Who will come out on top? So much to look forward to. But of course, No Mercy not the only pay-per-view. We also have Raw and NXT presenting Battleground. On Battleground for the NXT North American Championship, we have the champion Isaiah Swerve Scott taking on Ace Austin. Ace Austin looking to pick up his first bit of championship gold in WWE, and Swerve Scott looking to keep his. But who will come out on top? Will this NXT be proved to be Swerve's house, or Ace Austin truly be the ace of the North American Championship division? In the Raw Tag division, we have one of two matches. First of all, we have Angel Garza and Randy Orton taking on the Celtic Warriors in a number one contenders match. Which team, the former champs, the Celtic Warriors, or the kind of makeshift team of Garza and Orton, you know, both third generation superstars, I want to say, will become the number one contenders? We'll have to wait and find out. Speaking of tag matches in NXT, we have a mixed tag match as Johnny Gargano is back on NXT and he's teaming with his wife Candice LeRae to take on #Trending's Grayson Waller and Tiffany Stratton. Will #Trending get a #Trending victory, or will Gargano and LeRae shut them up for good? In the hardcore division, Tommaso Ciampa looks to get his title back against champion Damian Priest. I mean, Ciampa has taken exception to Damian Priest's partying antics, especially since winning that title. And will he be able to stop the party once and for all, or will the party roll on with Damian Priest and that title? The Cruiserweight title is on the line when Trey Griffin takes on Kalisto. Of course, Kalisto showing a different side, picking up a string of victories against the likes of Rey Mysterio and even pinning Trey Griffin himself this past week. But can Trey Griffin get the win when it matters, or will Kalisto get another pinfall victory and become the Cruiserweight champion? The Raw tag titles are up for grabs meanwhile when the Broserweights defend against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Owens and Zayn say that if it wasn't for the Broserweights inserting themselves on Mania, they'd be the Raw tag champs. But now when these two teams collide, who will leave the Raw tag team champions once and for all? And another tag titles on the line, the women's tag titles, as Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair defend against Team 2001, Next Gen, Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez, their first championship opportunity in the WWE in NXT. Against two superstars they idolised growing up, Lynch and Flair. Can they get the gold? We'll have to wait and see. Whilst the Intercontinental title is up grab in a triple threat match, Montez Ford, Bobby Lashley, Chris Jericho, all three men want that gold. Jericho wants to prove he's the greatest of all time. Lashley wants to prove his dominance. Montez Ford wants to prove he belongs at the top of the Intercontinental Mountain. Who will win? Who will leave with that Intercontinental title? The NXT Women's title on the line, Dakota Kai and Toni Storm. It's been quite friendly, really. They a lot of respect between each other, and respect enough to put in 100% in this match to prove who's the better superstar and who deserves to be the NXT Women's Champion. We need a new Women's World Champion, however, and so we're going to find out. Triple threat, Alexa Bliss, Mandy Rose, Naomi. Who will come out with the win when it matters? Who will be your new Women's World Champion? Whilst the NXT title, a match long time in the making, really. Chad Gable, King Corbin. King Corbin says he's going to shut Shorty G up and get that NXT Championship a real champion. Whilst Chad Gable says he's been waiting a long time to kick Corbin's ass, and this is the perfect opportunity with the NXT Championship on the line before the main event of Battleground for the WWE Championship. Kyle O'Reilly versus Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong, Diamond Mine in tow, looking to get some revenge on Kyle O'Reilly for breaking up the Undisputed Era, but also prove that he was the breakout star from Undisputed Era. He was the real leader. Kyle O'Reilly looking to, he beat Adam Cole, and now he's looking to beat Roderick Strong and keep a hold of that WSL. Who will come out on top? So much to look forward to. Two stacked cards of action await come the next episode on Saturday. I cannot wait. I hope you can't wait too. What match are you most looking forward to? Let me know in the comments down below. Match card video on Thursday, and then pay-per-view premium live event on Saturday. As always, while you're down there, why don't you leave a like and subscribe for more. And as always, I just want to say thank you for watching.